What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing. So today we're going to be talking about the rumored, all but confirmed, leaked PlayStation 5 Pro that, we've heard about starting last year, and now, we've heard some more leaks with the actual specs of the system. You got Eurogamer here talking about it, Tom Warren as well, and then even Digital Foundry kind of chipped in on this story. So I want to kind of go through what's been leaking about it. I want to talk about what, mid-gen refreshes, if they're still necessary. Do we need a PlayStation 5 Pro? What's Xbox and Nintendo going to do? And then, kind of give my thoughts on am I going to buy it as well? So let's get right into it. So this article, I'm going to link it in the description below, but this is from Eurogamer. It says spec analysis, PlayStation 5 Pro, the most powerful console yet, a bigger, faster GPU with improved ray tracing, AI upscaling, but what should we expect from its game? So I think what a lot of people are talking about is just the fact that there's a law of diminishing returns now where we get these new systems, even for this generation, a lot of people have been disappointed with, you got, all these promises of 4K 60, even up to 8K, that's on the PlayStation 5 box, things like that. And, we haven't really seen that leap. Of course there was COVID and everything like that, but we've seen all these cross-platform games still coming out on the PlayStation 4 as well as the Xbox One, and, the people feel like the systems aren't being fully utilized. So why are we getting a Pro model and we don't even have a real, the full capabilities of the original PS5? Is this going to be any different? So let's look at it here. So this feature is by Richard Ledbetter. He's the technology editor at Digital Foundry. So it says, last week, more details emerged concerning the technical specifications of the PlayStation 5 Pro. The machine is real, it is coming relatively soon, and by and large, the leaks are accurate. The question is, what are the design objectives of the new console, what is less than ideal about the current PS5, and how will the Pro model address that? We're on the record as saying that this generation doesn't really need a mid-gen upgrade, which is kind of what most people are saying. But does the state of recent games and the extra power and capabilities of the mooted Pro change our opinion? So what he's kind of saying is, we've seen recent games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, even Dragon's Dogma. They're at these either we still have an option between, do you want fidelity or do you want, performance? And it's why can't we have both? The only games that run at 4K 60 or even 1080p 60 are games that don't require a lot of movement or a lot of action sequences and stuff like that. Even these 120p games, 120 FPS games, it's mostly you need a PC, or it's a one of these indie 2D style games. What's going on with that? Why can't we get that with what we were promised with the base models? So it says, first of all, let's address the authenticity of the leaks we've seen thus far, which essentially operates on two levels. First of all, Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson has a spotless record in revealing new PlayStation hardware, from the existence of the PlayStation Portal through to the PlayStation 5 Slim with its detachable and upgraded hard drive. So that was another thing. The fact that this was rumored last year, and then we got the Slim model just now recently, and that's been normal since the Xbox 360, even the PS2. You had a PS2 Slim, Xbox 360. I think it was the S or something like that. I had it. It was that black model, which was slimmer, probably had more hard drive storage on it and all that. But it's now we're getting a Pro model, which normally it's either one or the other, or one is both. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to look at this is the comparison of the specs. So you have on the left, you have the PlayStation 5 Pro, and then on the right, the PlayStation 5. So seems like the CPU architecture, clock speeds are pretty much the same, except slightly different on the PS5 Pro. Now here, the GPU compute units. So, and just a disclaimer, I don't know what any of this stuff actually means, but just looking at it, you have 60 CUs in RNDA 3, and then PlayStation 5, 36 CUs in RNDA 2. So there you go. Teraflops actually tripling, so going from 10.23 with the base model to 33.5 with the Pro model. We still see the memory 16 gigs at 18 GPPS instead of 14. You got memory available for games 13.7 versus 12.5, and then memory interface is 256-bit by fit over 576 GBs instead of 448. So that's the specs of this thing. And now I want to take a step back and kind of look at like this mid-gen refresh thing we're kind of getting used to. And I think this generation, it's kind of like a stopgap generation. It's been a lot of like the industry changing, the way everyone looks at things as far as like releasing consoles, pro models, just a lot of different things we're seeing. Like, do we want platforms versus like hardware, free to play game? Like, a lot of things have been changing, and I think eventually like hardware will always exist in some capacity, but I think it's going to be more like minuscule upgrades over time, and then just, you know, the gameplay has to come first, because like everything's kind of been promised with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, you know, all this ray tracing, 4K 60, all these kind of things. And to me, it's kind of like at some point it has to just be about the games. Like, how much better can games get? Like, we've seen very minimal increments from last generation to this generation. Like, there was sizable upgrades, obviously, from, you know, the PS1 and, you know, Nintendo 64 and stuff to the GameCube and the PS2, or even to the PS3 and Xbox 360 from the original Xbox. So, you know, with the Pro model, like, unless there's going to be some type of, like, all these games now magically are going to get pushed and, like, brute force to run better, I do not see a point. You know, I don't know. Like, PS5s have not hit the sales that Sony wants to. They are selling very good, but they're not hitting the sales that they want to. They had the slim model to, you know, for people that probably didn't buy it. Then you have the PS5 Pro. How much is this thing going to cost? You know, that's the other thing that's coming about. You know, for people that don't have one already, okay, maybe don't get it. It makes sense. For people that do have it, who's really getting this besides, like, you know, YouTubers or tech people or people that's going to get it sent to them, or, you know, reviewers and things like that? You know, I don't know. I personally don't really think there's a reason for it. And now, when you look at Nintendo, we know the Switch launched early, right? But midway through, there was rumors around a Switch 2 or Switch Pro coming out, and apparently that was real at one point, but then they decided to drop just the OLED, which came out in 2021. So that was 4 years after the Switch launch. And now, you know, it's rumored that the Switch 2 is going to come out in 2025. So the OLED came out midway through, and then they decided to push the Pro to just make a whole new console altogether. Now, the Xbox Series, you know, we saw during the business update with Phil Spencer and Matt Booty and Sarah Bond that, hey, they have something, they have new hardware, they're not getting out of hardware. It's going to be announced this June, so that's very soon. And we saw leaks for, you know, the Brooklyn and things like that. Apparently these are old. We might get something different. There's rumors of a handheld, so we're going to get that, and then potentially a new system in 2026. And Xbox is kind of already, you know, seen where the industry's headed. They've said it, like, this hardware thing, just focusing on, you know, one box. Like, we're trying to expand to platforms, spread our wings, you know, just be more of a brand and publishing, and still give you some type of device to play on. But where is PlayStation headed? I don't know. I mean, again, the PlayStation's selling well. They don't have a lot of true first parties coming this year, but they should have some down the pipeline. You know, some more live service games. Helldivers 2 is doing great. But yeah, I personally won't be picking it. I don't see the point. I don't normally do the mid-gen refresh anyway. But you guys let me know down below. What do you think about this rumored PS5 Pro? Are you going to pick it up? Do you think we need a mid-gen refresh? Does Xbox need to do a mid-gen refresh as well? I don't think they will. I think, you know, like I said, the generation's been one of learning about changing what we're used to. Everyone just predicts that this is going to happen because what's been happening the last few generations. But I don't know. I think it's a waste of time and money. But y'all let me know down below. Of course, subscribe if you have not already, and I'll catch you in the next video.